from managing such a big assignment, and we now know where a lot of the pitfalls are, so it's been interesting.
My name is Adam Grindy from Baker Tilly Virchow Krause in Chicago. Besides the international role that I serve for my firm, I'm also an audit partner. So I've spent a career serving international audit clients, and lots of good experiences and lots of very challenging experiences, which I think makes me appropriately qualified to talk about this today.
I'm David James. As you all know, I'm
There's a lot of unknown about why don't, for example, I had an experience with a member firm, which I won't name, but they said we don't want to participate, and I couldn't really get an answer as to why. And so I think it was important for me to understand, well, can I help? Is there something I can do? Can we work around it? Instead, I was just sort of left in a gray zone in terms of I didn't really know why. So I think there's responsibility on both sides to do the appropriate amount of due diligence.
Great. Well, I think that however frustrating it may be to be offering out to another member firm this juicy thing, which is a specialism that they don't have and they're not interested in developing, and then we feel very frustrated, hey, I won this, it's a great chance for us all to work, and we might all not work because of one firm. Despite all that, I agree with Adam that honesty is far better. It's far better to encounter another member firm saying, look, I can't do it and I won't do it, and if I try and do it, I'll mess it up, and I don't want to mess it up. Better they say that than feel intimidated, or a bigger member firm than us is coming along asking for help with this assignment, and I don't feel like I can say no. Yeah? This is a recipe for disaster, because everybody thinks you can do it, and then afterwards, if you really can't do it, well, it's worse than not going for it in the first place.
Any questions, any comments from anybody? So, something to put to the panel is, members are often asked to provide estimated fee codes for clients with limited information. So that can often lead to disputes later on when basically people then haven't scoped the assignment correctly. I was just wondering if somebody wants to give me an example, probably David, I'm not sure if an example on when that's happened to you.
Well, there are examples. Obviously, coming from Eastern Europe, there's a perception on receiving incoming work that we should be very cheap, because a gardener costs only a sixth in, let's say, the Czech Republic as a gardener would cost in, say, the United Kingdom. But the thing is, we're not gardeners, and the cost of professional services is much more similar. The market for those particular things is similar. So what people perceive might be the market rate for our services, because it's Eastern Europe, they often get a bit of a surprise when we actually need to ask for a bit more. It really should come down to a degree of sort of awareness of what the market for professional fees is in that country, and clearly if we're asked to go cheaply so another member firm can work, there's going to be an opportunity cost for that. We should be aware when we're giving work to another member firm, they could have an opportunity cost. We also should be aware, I mean, it's a controversial area, as you say, and I'm going to not shy away from the controversy. We also should be aware that when we're referring work to another member firm, that member firm will also pay the referral fee as it is in the system right now. They will be paying a fee. You won't be paying a fee because you're the referring firm. You won't be getting anything, but you won't be paying. That firm will, as well as helping you hopefully work by giving the best fee that it can for you, on top of that will also have to pay a referral fee. So you know, everybody has to kind of factor that in to a degree. Otherwise, we're just going to discover that we've got something that we weren't expecting to pay. At the end of the day, I believe that within a good network, we try to avoid situations where we can't always avoid losses, but we should avoid situations where one firm's creaming it making big profits and the other firms are making losses. If we're all making profits, that's great. If we're all making losses, that's too bad. Do something about it for the future. But if one firm is making losses and the other's making profits, then it's easy for the loss-making firms, especially if they're the receiving firm, to think that they've been done over. And obviously that's what we say, that's an invidious situation, to use a big word. It should be avoided.
Anybody else on the panel? Any comments?
Let me see.
I guess one interesting thing that came to my mind, the question, I think Oscar put up the question about, do you have the right to ask your friend to lie for you when you run a pedestrian over? I kind of look at it at, do I have the right to ask, say, the German firm to reduce their fees so that I can get a good client? It doesn't make sense to me. I think everybody, I want the good client. I'll be clear about I want the good client, but I don't expect you to take a loss for that. Just, I guess, my own personal expectation. I expect maybe the whole group is going to do their best, put forth their best fee, but I wouldn't expect someone to take a loss for me.
But Jesper was saying yesterday that if we want to get into the big 4-star client, that's probably what it will cost us. He talked about something called a war chest. So losses may well be necessary to get into the area. The good thing is if we do it knowingly, that we're consenting, every firm is consenting, we know what we're getting into and it's controlled. And not that people feel pressured into it by another member firm so that they don't like it afterwards.
So is that part of the solution sometimes, is we need to be realistic and realise year one we could make some losses here for the long-term gain?
Well, sometimes that's going to happen. It's just something I carried out of Jesper's talk yesterday. He made that pretty clear that if we want to be playing in that market, we're going to have to buy the business in. There's one other thing I wouldn't mind saying on what was just said a moment ago by Rowan about the business of making sure that if there's an extra thing that needs to be done, that it's up to the member firms to say it. When we think about selling as offering product on a product by product basis, then things do fall between the gaps. When we think about selling as solution selling, the client is in this situation, they want to achieve this, these are their pains, these are their afters, as using Andy Bounds' language. How do they get there? Give us a solution. Then automatically they should be then thinking differently. They're not thinking about product A, product B, service A, service B, the way we've defined it, and then we pick those and then, later on we discover we didn't pick enough. If we're selling a solution, if we're into what's called solution selling, or the Andy Bounds way of doing things, that should help that as well, in my opinion.
We have